Because then you'd be dead and a deadbeat.
Wow, you're live.
What's that about people not liking how we just...
You went live right on the words dead and deadbeat.
I don't think...
For those that don't know, if you're new, Chris's dad is both dead and a deadbeat.
Well, technically, yeah, because he's dead.
That's not even what we were talking about.
No, it's not. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the NOLAnerds, episode 12 of our 7-3 numbering or something.
Yep, just like DC Comics.
It will be episode 7-012.
This one has a hologram cover.
Yeah.
Really
sure. And it has a variant cover by Scotty Young where we're all really weird-eyed baby chibis.
Yeah, but it's chromium inlay, so
it's pretty.
Buy
tight.
8 of them.
It's tight. It's tight.
And this episode is going to have an Evo focus, much like Chris's wonderful title for this episode.
Wait, Matt, which one of us is Chris?
I'm Chris.
Hey, I'm Matthew.
I'm Doug,
and I'm Josh.
This is actually, think about it. This is the first time all 4 of us have been on an episode in like over a month.
Yeah.
Josh was out of town, and then I left for Evo, and now
I had to do some shit like, I couldn't even connect one week.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't.
Hey, Chris, I have something I'm very proud of, and I think one you'll hate, and one I think you'll really like.
Okay.
Which one do you want first?
Give me the one I hate. Give me that.
Always start with hate.
That's beautiful.
I'm so happy. So my coworker got this for me. It was the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
Oh my god!
For me, gave it to me while I was at Evo.
Why do you think I would hate that? I love that.
Because you hate everything good in this world.
It's kind of like people who hate Tom Cruise love The Edge of Tomorrow.
It looks like he's sleeping.
That's the eternal sleep.
This is Sleepy Yamcha. That's a
kind of what death is in the Dragon Ball world.
It's a long nap.
Just taking a nap.
Finally got to sleep for a couple years.
So here, Chris. Oh, I just thought of the best way to segue, Chris. So what happened to Yamcha right here?
He died.
And who do you think is responsible for that?
The Cyberman.
Cyberman?
It's
Death. Hey.
Oh, that Death looks awesome.
She wasn't there.
DC just
I've got to get all of them now, though.
Oh, that's great.
Is the thing. I've got to get the entire Endless and Pop Vinyl.
I know. Like, I just have them in the order.
So here's the thing. If Death were part of the Dragon Ball universe, she would be beyond useless and bored to tears.
She'd be basically waiting in a training room at all times.
You know what it is? She would basically be a valet. She just drops you off and picks you up. She's your lift.
And then she would have to deal with King Yenma and the Home for Infinite Losers and King Kai.
Speaking of Home for Infinite Losers, how's New Orleans treating you guys?
It's good.
It's funny because
like real coffee and food that has salt on it. How's your place?
Hey, I'll have you know, sake is the worst. Doesn't like it. Doesn't.
You have to say. I do have to say,
it's delightful. Why would you say that?
Thank you, Chris.
Doesn't like any form of flavor or.
I find that hard to believe.
Hold on. What's up with that pillow? Break that down for me.
Goldblum.
I love it.
You missed it.
I love it.
Well, Matt, if she doesn't like any flavor, it makes sense that she's going to marry you.
So, in Florida news, one of my favorite stories.
You're like a walking saltine.
Yeah.
I got to say, one of my favorite stories out of Florida recent was that guy who went to buy beer at a liquor store or at a convenience store, and he had an alligator with him, and the alligator was buying the beer.
Why not?
What a beautiful state.
I like that one, the footage where it's 2 guys who are shoplifting from a store, and like they're distracting the guy behind the counter, right? While the other guy just throws bags of chips into a fucking bag, and then a guy comes in to rob the store. Right? So this guy comes in with a fucking shotgun to rob the store. The 2 guys who were shoplifting, they crouch in the aisle like terrified, right? But then one guy goes he talks to the other guy. You can't hear them. It's fucking security footage, right? The dude runs around and goes around the other side of the aisle. And this guy tosses his skateboard so it rolls into the counter. So the dude with the shotgun comes this way, right? Meanwhile, the other guy has circled around behind him, tackles him, takes the shotgun, slides it across the counter to the cashier, and they both run out.
Nice.
So
their votes count just as much as your votes count.
Yeah, it's like they have a code, like we'll steal from you, but we're not going to stick a gun in your face.
That's rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida.
It's the code of the streets.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh,
hey, Matt, tell us about Evo.
Yeah, tell us about Las Vegas.
Well, before Evo, I want to get into what happened today. There was some big news for Nintendo today.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about the guy getting fired.
Yeah, they had a brand new Smash Bros. Direct.
The biggest news is that they killed Luigi.
They murdered the
Luigi got murdered.
But most important to Chris is that Castlevania officially has joined the roster with both Simon Belmont and some guy named Richter, who's in a game I've never heard of before. That important.
He's in 2 games. No, 3. Maybe
he's in like 1 game and then like a quarter of another game.
The quarter game he's in is one of the best of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but he's still a playable character in that game, if you know.
Can be.
Word
and Alucard is an assist trophy, and Dracula is a stage boss, and they're going to have 34 musical tracks from Castlevania in that game. So,
that's a lot of musical tracks.
Smash is doing their best to get me interested, and it's just not working.
I don't understand the mechanics of that game, and I hope that people in chat will say, well, fuck you. But I just don't understand
What if
the
it
mechanics.
turns out this is barely a Smash Brothers game? It's actually just a Castlevania game where there's like one part where you fight a bunch of stupid Nintendo characters, and then it goes back to you
I'll
fighting.
just let you know the most ridiculous moment was when they showed Pac-Man getting killed by Dracula's fire. And
Yes.
This is also Shovel Knight's in the game now.
Yeah.
So
That's ridiculous. Why did he kill Pac-Man? Pac-Man fights ghosts. He fights look, come on. It's Joint Forces time, They're monster hunters.
I'm just so lost.
Hey, Matt.
yes, dear.
My big takeaway from the Belmont reveal is that I desperately want a very slick, highly produced Castlevania game that just stars Luigi.
Great. Look, it's great.
All I want.
This is in another vampire castle.
Luigi's Mansion 3 needs to have a Castlevania DLC mansion where it's just him sucking up Medusa heads and getting viciously murdered by.
I want to throw this out there. I want to stop you right there. It's not murder if death is the one that kills you. It just is death.
Just death.
That's fair.
Okay, I guess it's still murder, right?
It's not. It's death.
It's literally death.
It's the incarnation of the end of things. It can't murder you.
What happens if you kill death?
Well, watch Supernatural and you find out.
All right, no one's watching Supernatural.
Spoilers.
Way to go. So, Evo. Chris.
So what happened?
Lots of stuff happened for a lot of games you don't play. So
it's great.
I'll go fairly quickly because I don't think anyone here really gives a damn.
You also spent your time hobnobbing with Xavier Woods and Wooly.
I did. I was networking like a champ because we hosted one of the main after parties of Evo. So that was fun.
I'm just saying.
I designed the drink menu, and Chris, every drink name was a stupid pun.
I bet it was.
Never mind. I was just saying, on a side note, can you tell us how much money you lost after each competition?
Oh, what do you mean? I didn't play.
You didn't go gamble?
No.
You're in Vegas.
Yeah, and I'm also really prone to being addicted to everything I try, and I know myself.
And he's also getting married soon.
Which is why we need to keep the money.
The last thing.
Fucking with her like this, I think.
No, that's how the whole relationship. That's the whole relationship.
That's
the last thing I need to do is get in the mindset of like, I need to just keep going a little more. Eventually, my luck will change or turn around, and I'll hit that jackpot.
Hey, man.
But you didn't bet on any of the fighting matches?
No. Although I did bet all of you that Yamcha would be in the finals last year, and guess who was in the finals of Dragon Ball Fighter Z?
If you guys want to know why Matt doesn't gamble for real, ask him how many times he pulled for what is it, LR Gogeta?
Yeah.
Those are just letters that you just said.
Now you're just making sounds.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you, Chris. I'm gonna pull one more time right now, live.
Oh my God! Don't do this.
I'm not
like this.
That's a terrible waste.
We got so much to cover in one little part.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, go for it. Tell us about the games.
Street Fighter V finally, after 3 years, brings Sagat to the game.
This is shocking. I didn't know Sagat wasn't in the game.
Yeah, they were holding him out. He was like the one holdoff. And then they announced a new character named G, who's basically Abraham Lincoln with arms made of fire.
That's radical.
I just want you to know he's got the stovetop hat, and the big beard and the vest.
I thought Abraham Lincoln had arms of fire.
No.
Arms of fire.
No, that was when he fought John Wilkes Booth.
Chris, you ready? I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you what this guy looks like.
Yeah.
You ready? Is it shared?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. There he is. I want you.
Oh, I love him.
Ass kicked.
He's my hero.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
So, and then Sagat is right there. So we got all these peeps.
That's so weird. I didn't know Sagat wasn't in it.
Nope, he's the final character.
Imagine my surprise.
Look at those arms of fire. This guy's ready to punch you into 407 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
I'm done.
I want that to be one of his statements. I do.
Well, you know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah. Anyway,
what else happened?
Let's see. Dragon Ball FighterZ breaks the Evo record for most watched game on Twitch ever.
Awesome.
Also,
like watching an episode of the cartoon.
Also, the winner of Dragon Ball FighterZ World Championship is a furry. And
were they dressed up as they won?
His name's Sonic Fox, and whenever he wins, he puts on his big fur wolf mask and fucking does the worm on stage.
Yes, a friend of ours was telling me that he was a furry, and I kind of went speechless for like a second. It took my brain some time to process it.
Well, isn't he like a millionaire also?
Is he? Probably not. Not in the fighting. Not if you're a fighting game champ.
How much money do these people win?
It depends on the game, but in general, out of all the esports, the fighting game scene is the most broke. Like you'll get 100,000, maybe 250,000, and then you look at Fortnite and like
Overwatch
Legends and stuff like that, StarCraft, and those people are winning millions. Like Overwatch.
Overwatch was like 10 million, I believe.
Yeah, and Fortnite was 250 million.
That's insane.
And then fighting game companies are like, here's 100K. Cool. See you next
fun.
So I mean, sure, winning 100,000 still gonna be friggin' awesome. But when the other guy's winning 100 million, kind of sinks in that
you're only fighting one dude at a time. Over at at PUBG. We are born into darkness and we seek victory.
All right. So after that, Cooler, Base Goku, and Base Vegeta were revealed as the next round of DLC for Dragon Ball FighterZ.
People are very salty about just being another Goku and another Vegeta.
Me too. There's so many other characters they could have gone with. And yeah, of course, they're cool to have the originals, you know, the Kaioken Goku and Evil Vegeta, but there's so many other characters we could have gone with.
Cooler is very good.
I'm down with Cooler. I think he's the cooler of the two.
Stop
it. Shut up.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Just shut.
Can't wait to see you so I can slap the taste out of it.
So what happened in the Street Fighter world?
I just told you.
Oh no! What happened in Smash?
Yeah, Smash.
Well, I don't know. He said Street Fighter. A British black guy won Street Fighter V's World Tournament. First British guy to win Evo, I think, in ever, and he beat this super popular Japanese player.
Not Daigo, right?
No, not Daigo is retired. Daigo is now in charge of his fighting game like clan, and he mentors them.
How do you? Do you just like one day you're just like, you know what? I'm done with the fighting game.
Yeah, he's now a coach basically.
Yeah.
All right. I figured this out. The best way to describe Daigo now is he's the fighting game world's Tony Hawk. He was king shit back in the early days of the community. And then by the time that he aged himself out, he's now just a legend among them and just works off his name and licenses himself on everything.
Well, can you age yourself out of this community?
Oh god, yeah. It's like the reason you don't find any old StarCraft or League of Legends players, the twitch mechanics, you just lose that dexterity. Also, the older you get, the more responsibilities in life you have.
Yeah,
you no longer get to dedicate 14 hours a day.
That much money, like.
Also, carpal tunnel's a bitch.
Yeah, also that.
Carpal tunnel, arthritis, repetitive stress injury.
Soul Calibur 6 announced some new characters. SNK Heroines announced that their final character was going to be a gender-bent version of their mascot, Terry Bogard.
People are very happy about this.
Most importantly, though,
hold on, I can only get so aroused.
Is that Tekken 7 is debuting their Season 2 DLC pass with none other than Negan from The Walking Dead with his dumb baseball bat.
Yeah.
Look, we all roll our eyes at that, but the internet exploded because Walking Dead is still massively popular. And
yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it either, but Negan trended because of that reveal. That alone is going to sell so many season passes of Tekken 7 DLC.
Well, it's also because people are turning sociopathic, so they all like the villain. It's
I think
more than they like any character.
Dr. Doom is still a hero.
And he's not a hero.
The biggest news, you're right, he's not a hero, he's the hero.
Shut up.
The biggest news of EVO came from this company called Arc System Works.
You guys are secret Latvian bots.
What?
Your internet bots set up by Doom.
Doom bots.
To influence the next election. Oh, they should do that. See, that's a pertinent thing.
That's actually a really good Marvel story they could do.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Like, have Doom in the Putin role, but instead of internet bots, he literally has LMDs that infiltrate the government to affect the election.
You know what? I'd be down.
Like, instead of turning Cap into a Nazi, for instance, this is
he was a Doom bot. Things. Oh my god,
he's been a Doom bot for
a
while.
He's been a Doom bot the whole time.
and Cap as a Doom bot infiltrated both the Avengers and Hydra.
Fantastic. You know this. Why aren't we writing for Marvel? I don't. All right, back to the fighting games.
Yeah. So the last thing is Arc System Works had two major announcements. One is that their new game, Cross Tag Battle, was getting its 9 DLC. Its final round of DLC. All 9 characters dropping the day after EVO. So that was big. But the bigger thing is they announced that they're making their own esports league. And it's going to be a year-round worldwide tournament called Arc Revolution World Tour. And it's going to culminate in a giant world champ. Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
I lost all sound.
No.
You're not.
I can hear you.
Wait, you can hear me?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, then why was Chris saying no?
Chris is.
I can hear you.
He's just agreeing.
So Arc Revolution, which is going to be a worldwide tournament, culminating in a big finals next year in America where the winners of all the qualifying tournaments around the world come together and play one giant tournament and win lots and lots of cash money. So that's EVO.
Okay. Right.
Also, although I will be remiss if we didn't talk about Smash.
Thank you, Jesus.
Which is the showing of Smash and the actions of the player base and the fan base. I don't think Smash 4, the Wii U version, will ever show up at EVO again.
Okay.
It doesn't deserve
it. So what they did was, while they're on air showing the finals, the 2 finalists just sat on either side of the screen because apparently they were friends in real life and decided to troll the entire audience and just hold block the entire time and refuse to fight each other.
Oh my
the
God.
audience started booing. They started getting up and leaving. Like, a ref had to get up and say, you have to fight or, like, you're gone. Like, it was a thing that just kind of put a damper on the entire community for that game.
Weren't they chanting for Melee, too?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know what would be going through your head that makes you think that's a good idea at all.
I'm sure they were like, it sounds like a Josh thing. This will be really funny, guys.
Yeah, but it's really funny for about 45 seconds, and then you just fucking punch it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's and they picked the maximum time because it was, on the final stage at Evo.
Yeah, like they didn't try and do it during their qualifier. They did it during the finals.
Okay, that's actually awesome.
No, it's the opposite of it.
No, it is. It's hilarious.
Why?
Because it hurts the entire community because they're actively campaigning for Disney to let ESPN cover like esports, and then that's what they show. Like that's not how you put your best foot forward when you're trying to become legitimate.
Yeah.
That's okay. Dragon Ball picked up the slack at the
Oh
end.
my God. Can I tell you the greatest thing about Dragon Ball is it started like 5 tournaments ago, and I think at a combo breaker or something like that, where anyone that uses Cell's intro is he comes in and screams as he powers up, and so everyone in the audience screams with him. And so it became a huge thing. So you have this giant stadium of Mandalay Bay packed to the brim. And Cell comes out, and like the announcer's like, all right, everyone, let's do it. And everyone screams. And it's this magical moment that could not have been any more like, oh, just being there in public person for that. It's amazing.
I also find it really funny that they wind up picking the hottest month in Vegas to host this tournament.
Well, it was supposed to be in July, like every other year. It got pushed back to August this year because of Microsoft, is what I heard. Microsoft wanted to have a conference at Vegas during the normal time of Evo. And let me tell you, when Microsoft money comes a knocking,
oh, yeah, you know,
getting pushed back.
Yeah, you're kind of just like, yeah, you know what? You guys can...
All right, Microsoft's billions of dollars, but this fighting game tournament has really had its eye on your time slot.
I'm sorry, the corporate nation of Microsoft would like to move in and own your account for a second.
Yeah, exactly. So that was Evo.
Can I bring up something that was happening all day today that I really enjoyed that no one seems to have noticed happened?
What?
ESPN2 for the entirety of today became ESPN8 The Ocho.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yes, it's still happening.
It's not even April Fools.
Like the first, it started at midnight last night. They ran Dodgeball the movie, and then they've run like when I got into work this morning, I turned it on and it was noodling, which is catching catfish with your hands. There's been white sumo.
Did they,
a bunch of Hungarian guys.
No hacky sack or no, what is it? Cornhole?
Dude, there was some Middle Eastern game I could not suss out with all of my neurons.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Where fucking A, Cotton. But where they had to like run past the line while these guys are surrounding them, and if they got over the line and didn't get away, the guys tackled them and basically just beat the shit out of them. And I couldn't understand anything anybody was saying. The best was SportsCenter because the guy has no idea what any of the sports they're showing, like what the rules are. He's like don't call it paddle, it's padel, whatever that is. He's like, over in India, and he's like, whoa, what I assume is a great shot. And then competitive lightsaber duel.
Jesus.
For like an hour. Oh my God. When I left, chess boxing is my absolute favorite. Play a whole chess game, then a round of boxing. Sit back down with your fucking face bloody and play another chess match now that your brain's been rattled. Then get up and play another and box again. Like, what? Anyway, I just want to mention because it's still going on. It's nerdy as fuck. Like, it's the only ESPN I would watch. It's the only time I'll ever bring up ESPN on this show.
Fucking A.
I hope it becomes their Shark Week.
Fucking A.
Like, just every year, one day.
That would be great. More companies need to do that. It's just delightful.
It's just fun.
Honestly, I feel that way about like all this competitive video gaming. I feel like that could be on ESPN 5.
Yeah, well, how many do they actually have? Like 3?
3.
Yeah.
ESPN. There's ESPNU.
Yeah, that's the online ESPN.
Yeah.
So
anyway, just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was relevant.
Luigi is still dead.
Don't let ESPN The Ocho distract you from the fact that R. Kelly pissed on a child.
Can we just start saying that about every news?
We should. We really should.
Matt, once an episode, I want you to say a whole story and then say, but don't let that
distract you from the fact that R. Kelly pissed on a child and then wrote a song about it.
Because you will be the next Hannibal Buress. That guy will be in jail in a year if we just do this one joke.
I thought we were trying that with Jim Lee.
No.
That's not real. R. Kelly literally pissed on a child and wrote a song about it. He deserves us to do that. No, he steals children. First of all, he doesn't do anything to them.
Yeah, okay.
He just has them.
All right.
and he's Jim Lee. He's very nice to them, but they're not his.
Yeah, he kidnaps children.
No, but the thing is, that's fake.
Yeah.
R. Kelly deserves to have everyone remind,
that he pissed on a child. Yeah.
That he did this and nothing has happened to him for a decade. In fact, he just has 10 live-in sex slaves right now.
Yeah.
Also, no one
Chris is just sitting there like, what the fuck has happened to my life?
It doesn't matter. Look, we'll delete this whole episode, but the point is, I'd like this to be a regular occurrence.
You know what? Done. That's fine.
Okay,
done.
I'm waiting for them to tucker themselves out.
Oh my god.
In future, we won't have to talk about it. It'll just happen, and we'll keep going.
I can't believe that's a thing. I can't.
No one can. They can't. What the?
Hey, dog, stop it.
Like he's losing his mind.
How rude.
Could he possibly
Oh my goodness. Gosh, what's going on here?
Seriously.
I don't know.
Stop it.
Yeah.
All right, so what else you want to talk about, bud?
Well, first of all, Chris, I got a review code for a game that I've been playing for a bit. Haven't had time to really delve into it because I just got back from Evo and I've got a bunch of work. But Phantom Doctrine, which is the XCOM game set in the Cold War where you play as spies. So it's like Alpha Protocol meets XCOM.
Yes.
A strategy RPG that fully relies on stealth. And it removes the most frustrating part about XCOM, which is the percentage chance meters. So no more being up right in front of someone with a shotgun and having a 99% chance to hit and then miss.
Yeah.
Chris, you would be in heaven. This game.
Phantom Doctrine.
Can't really talk about it because I'm still under NDA about it, but I just want you to know it's happening and it's real damn good.
Okay.
Any word on that noir?
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Matt.
Miss you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Miss you too.
Hey, do me a favor. Poke Josh in the nose.
I can't.
Why? He's literally right there.
Nose.
No, like boop him.
No.
Why?
He does not have a nose.
Yep. He does not hear.
Josh,
Love you though. Love you.
Was Kate hit on the head a lot as a child?
No, just recently. She took the L
Boop.
Yeah.
There it is.
The Jerry. Don't ever take it.
Don't
Ever take it.
You know all these kids taking the Jerry now.
Don't do it.
They're hopped up on the Jerry.
They're all about it.
Yeah, so and also Dead Cells came out, and that's real good.
What a random episode.
You know what else is great, Chris?
What's that?
I'm literally playing right now.
Is this Phantom Doctrine he's talking about?
Okay, but here's the thing.
Dead Cells.
What's
Picross, motherfucker? They came out with a new Picross game.
That's not a game.
It is the best game.
No, it's
that
not.
looks like you took Minesweeper and math and had some sort of
That's 100% what it is. Minesweeper and math and Sudoku.
Chris, did you know Minesweeper had an adventure mode? We recently found this out. They've added a story mode to Minesweeper.
Wow, I did not know that.
It's real weird. It's a real weird idea. And I just gotta look it up yourself. I can't tell you about it.
I've never wanted to know that.
Chris, you talk about something. I'm trying to find something real quick. Why don't you tell me last year what last week what you said you went over some top lists?
Sure.
What'd you guys talk about? What were they?
They were about adult cartoons for adults, which was a misnomer because they were ostensibly cartoons for children that adults also watched.
Okay, so what was number one on that? Was it Venture Brothers or Simpsons or?
That was The Simpsons.
And we did a list backwards.
The other one was underappreciated superhero movies.
Oh, all right. Where was Meteor Man?
Not on the list.
Oh, well then that list is bunk.
No, that we were talking about how that list was like actually 4 different types of lists that were smashed together under one kind of appropriate heading. Like it was like I was expecting bad movies that weren't as bad as you remember them being. You know, like defending Meteor Man to me. Like convince me Meteor Man wasn't bad.
Or Blank Man.
Yeah. Well, you can't do that. But anyway, Ash, why did every black comedian do a bad superhero movie?
It was the style at the time.
Yeah, whatever. Now they dress up like grandmas. It's like a thing. I don't know. But yeah, like, and then there was the ones where it's actually just really good and not a lot of people have played it, that's 2 different lists, right? Like, to me anyway, if you know how to theme things. But then we were like, oh, well, somebody's got a deadline and they've got to pump out a list every 3 hours. So,
yeah, that's fair.
At least they weren't plagiaristic about the list.
We still don't know.
They probably.
Where is this list?
What are you looking for?
You'll see.
Will I?
What is he doing?
I don't know. I'm gonna talk about comic books.
All right, cool.
Here we go. Found it.
Oh, can we go?
Well, first, Chris, how about before? Because this is going to be our new list, basically, is what I'm saying.
All right.
So, but before that, I realized we never talked about games with gold or PlayStation Plus this month.
No, we have not.
So let's do that.
Go for it.
What do we want first?
Games with gold.
Games with gold. It has an excellent month this month. Like this is a solid month all around for Xbox, just in terms of big name games. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Forza Horizon 2 and For Honor for Xbox One.
That's not bad.
And Dead Space 3 and Epic Mickey 2 for 360.
Okay.
And none of those are like obscure indie games. They're all like AAA releases, and that's kind of unusual for a dead month like August.
Yes.
I want to combine those two and create Forza Honor, where you just like are barbarians and samurai driving cars.
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
What about PlayStation Plus?
What about it?
What are the games?
Well, they don't have Forza Honor, so what's the point?
They have Mafia 3.
They do have Mafia 3. The PlayStation 4 gets Mafia 3 and Dead by Daylight. That the game that kind of plays like Freddy. No, not Freddy.
Jason.
Jason.
The Friday the 13th game.
Yeah, Friday the 13th, basically, where one person plays the psychopath hunting down everyone else. PS3 gets Serious Sam 3 and Bound by Flame, that action RPG. And PS Vita gets Space Hulk, the kind of Warhammer-esque big mech suit game, and Draw Slasher, which is something I've never heard of before. And they've also added 2 other free games, bringing the total to 8 this month, with the VR game Here They Lie, the horror game, and the PlayLink title Knowledge is Power. PlayLink being the type of games like Hidden Agenda and stuff like that. So, good stuff. Solid month. Not as big name stuff as Xbox this month, but Mafia 3 is a great game and definitely should be tried.
I agree.
All right, so we'll end this week doing the first 20 of this list.
I'm curious because I usually am the one who finds the list, so that you have it.
This is a fan voted list by the forum Reset Era, which is the new home for NeoGAF refugees.
Yes.
And they have put together the top 101 essential RPGs.
Okay.
So this runs the gamut of classic Japanese RPGs, tabletop like style, Baldur's Gate style, to action RPGs, to everything in between. And so this is fan voted by everyone on the forum. Basically, they all put together their top 10. It got weighted and was assigned a point value and then added up. So, anyone have any questions before we dive into the first 21?
No, I'm very excited.
Josh, did you say something?
Yeah, I'm saying there's 101 of them.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's even more RPGs in the world,
Yeah. I just think it's funny that the list is 101. So what is 101?
Parasite Eve.
Okay.
Parasite Eve is
Parasite Eve was 101. They were like, "Fuck it."
Yeah, they're like,
Let's
let's
leave it
put
on.
Parasite
Let's
Eve
say
on
it.
it.
Come
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
probably. So yeah, if while I'm going down the list, like all of our other top lists, if you want to stop and say something, whether it's the complaint that it's too high or too low, do it.
Okay. Well, I'm now interested in the list since Parasite Eve is 101.
So, moving on. Number 100 is Dragon Quest IV, which I personally find is criminally low because it's one of my top 10 games of all time. Part of that, see, I normally would attribute that to nostalgia because it was my first RPG. I played it before Dragon Quest I or Final Fantasy I. But they recently re-released it on the DS, and it held up just as well. So it's not nostalgia.
This is the one that originally came out for the PlayStation 2?
No, that's Dragon Quest VIII. This is the one that was originally on Nintendo, the original.
On the NES.
Okay, I'm with you.
It's the game that does Octopath better than Octopath. It was the original Octopath where there were 5 chapters. Each chapter had its own heroes. And then at the final chapter, everyone's storyline converged and they met up in one giant party and you fought the great evil of the world. It was amazing. So,
okay.
Yeah. Everyone should play Dragon Quest IV. Number 99 is the original Suikoden.
I don't know. That's wait. Yeah.
No, you're thinking of 2. No one has fond memories of 1.
I like 1.
Exactly. You like 1.
I like 1. I think 1 has some really good kind of repercussions with the battles, because in the battles your characters can die, and then that translates over to the second game. Like, there's real consequences with the choices you make in that game. So if, like, certain characters die in these epic battles, then in the second game, which you didn't know was coming out, in the second game, they're not in that game. There's a replacement character in that game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's probably like, it should be around the 80s, not really 99. But now I'm interested in the list, because this is mentioned. And unlike the IGN list, this game wasn't mentioned. So, I'm actually really excited to hear this list. Keep on going.
Okay. One sec.
I'll give you 5.
All right. So, next up. What the hell is going on? Stop it. Number 98. Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey for the 3DS and DS. One of the dungeon crawler Shin Megami titles.
Chris just looked like he had no idea what that was.
I mean, I'm trying to remember if it's one of the ones that I played at
I don't
San
think
Diego.
it was.
Then no, I got no idea.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for something that I can chime in on.
97 is the very recent CRPG Pillars of Eternity by Obsidian.
I played 10 minutes of this, and it's pretty great.
Actually, side note, something I forgot to mention, Microsoft has recently put forth a letter of intent to acquire for Obsidian. So, as we know, the creators of Fallout New Vegas, the Pillars of Eternity series, and most recently, Divinity Original Sin. No, I'm sorry, that's Larian. They're just Pillars of Eternity. But they also created Alpha Protocol and lots of other. They created the first Stick of Truth South Park game.
Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Yeah. So Microsoft is looking to acquire them on their current spending spree of studios to bulk up for their next generation of Xbox, because first-party exclusives was definitely their weakest point of this entire generation of Xbox. So that'll be an interesting get for them. It's basically like getting a low-rent Bethesda.
Yep. Their games are just as glitchy.
Yep. So number 96 is Mass Effect 3, which I have a strong feeling why fans voted 3 down.
That fucking ending we will never hear the end about that ending.
You know what? The more I think about it, it was a fine ending, but it had the potential to be so much more. It just did.
I also think the ending needed fucking downloadable content from 2. in order to know that that's the choice you're supposed to make, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, because of the Shadow Broker stuff.
Yeah, not just the Shadow Broker stuff, but the stuff where you go to an asteroid that
you destroy a mass relay,
and you have to destroy a mass relay and wipe out an entire planet in order to keep, your indoctrinated people from, like, it sets up the.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, look, and it's made worse because Mass Effect 3's DLC, the one where it's just everyone having a party and relaxing.
Yeah.
Is one of the greatest DLCs.
It's one of the best DLCs I've ever played in my entire life.
That DLC was the culmination of your game because it was every character that's lived up to that point, referencing all of your decisions up to that point, no matter how big or small, and having a really great mission about it.
Yeah, it's the actual kind of denouement, really.
Yeah.
It felt like you had been watching like when you watch a whole season of a show, and right before the finales, there's this break episode.
Yeah.
Where the characters do something fun or stupid, or they
it's the Ember Island players of DLC.
Yes.
Yeah, and I actually loved. Like, I wish there had been more DLC that was like that. Like, DLC should be like that. It should be like an extra episode that's a big epic episode that has nothing to do with the main story.
Rex also called everyone princess.
Well, but instead, in 2, the DLCs were important.
Yeah.
Right. And if you didn't spend the money to get those, especially back then, before you got to 3, right? If you thought, oh, it's a DLC, I'll get around to it. And then you play 3, you have no setup for that ending. And that ending also, like, it is the problem of the earlier games too, is the illusion of choice. And they're slowly figuring out, like, I feel like Become Human's one of the first times, other than Blade Runner PC, and I will say that every fucking time this gets brought up, that I felt like I was in a world that changed, depending on what I did.
Yeah.
Even if you still, and it still winds around to the point that it's getting to, and the story it was trying to tell, but the way it gets told is somewhat dictated by you. They weren't doing that. They were telling a story, and you got to decide how you acted in the middle.
Yeah.
Because really, ultimately, it's not like you ended up in a different place making a different decision, which would have been kind of cool, but it wasn't going to happen. Not with that game. It was always going to end exactly where it ends, and you make one of the 3 decisions that you had. That was what was frustrating, because then nothing you did anything.
Chris, I mean, I know you played Mass Effect.
I did. Mass Effect 3, I think, is my second favorite of the Mass Effects of the main trilogy.
The game as a whole is better than, like, if that game had a good ending, I think it would have been the best game that they made.
Agreed.
But I also think that the ending was kind of built up to be an unachievable goal.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
And they did their best, and everyone hates them for it. So
I also think when I had all of the not just the DLC, but the way when I first played it, it had already been quote unquote fixed. So I don't know how frustrating it was. They added in a bunch of stuff by the time
I don't think it was.
Okay.
I think everyone overreacted, and thanks to the failure ending of Mass Effect 3, now we have Nazis.
You mean that culture starts there?
Yeah, the culture starts there.
No, you know what? You can make that argument because it was the first time fans felt so entitled that they attacked and harassed the developer until they got the result they wanted.
Yeah,
and then they got it.
It really does.
I think maybe like the problem is BioWare capitulated and altered that ending at all.
The ending wasn't even that bad, and Doug makes the points like you had to get the DLC from the second game, and you really had to play the second game. The first game didn't really mean much, but
the first game is world building. The second game is like most of the important stuff's in DLC.
Yeah, and everything is set up. The 2 and 3 sets up everything. Everything is set up in that ending. If you read all the things, if you get yourself really entrenched in that world, that ending is set up. There's no other way they can do it. There's no other way you can do it in it.
Especially at the time.
Yeah, and if you play that game the way probably BioWare wanted you to play, which is more of like the renegade approach.
We're spending a lot of time on this, but BioWare wants you to be renegade and wants you to blow up and sacrifice people for the greater good.
Yeah.
That was ideologically the underpinning of it. But I think Chris is ultimately the one that's right, which is that everybody created an ending in their head that mattered more than the actual infrastructure could support.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't actually build the game that they thought they were being promised.
Yeah.
But also internet culture had gotten to a toxic level right at the same time.
Yeah, and then we see it oozing out and affecting the game world.
Yeah. And so rather than going, oh, that was disappointing, or being mad like you used to get mad at a movie or a game, they started what is now regular for Star Wars and Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Yep, which is just the entitledness of people freaking
People will
out.
not be happy with it until the next one comes out. So they'll get mad at the new one and then start glorifying the last one, even though they were the ones who hated it last time. Because now, like, you got people who are mad at The Last Jedi who are complaining about Force Awakens for the opposite reasons. And they can't see how they're contradicting themselves at all. And I just, like, it's the same thing every time with both franchises. They've been bigger, anyway, we're spending a lot of time
on Mass Effect 3. I think
it's a big deal to a certain degree.
Yeah.
How?
All right, you ready? You got to move on.
I know, go.
95, Chris. Have you ever played Shadowrun Dragonfall?
No, I have not.
The Shadowrun remakes, or the I guess the reboot by an indie studio, have been some of the most solid.
Dragonfall is so good.
Dragonfall's the best one, I think.
That is so
It was the third one, so they had the most experience. But yeah, damn, it was so good.
I have a Shadowrun on Steam that I'll get to one day.
It's basically the best Cyberpunk game you'll have until Cyberpunk 2077 comes out.
Yeah, like it was, especially for a what do you call it, isometric?
Yeah,
like old school, but it really captured like that magic cyberpunk combo that only Shadowrun does.
All right, 94 was Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. So that generation of games.
They all kind of run together for me, so cool. Pokemon's a Pokemon.
Number 93 is Divinity Original Sin, the first one.
I don't even know about that.
I'm impressed that so many more recent games are cracking the list already. Yeah. Number 92 is Dark Souls 2.
It's too hard for my big baby hands.
I know, buddy. I know. 91 is the original Fallout.
Okay. All right.
It's kind of Diablo-esque from what I've seen, but I didn't get to it until
tactical RPG.
I didn't get to it until like last year.
Yeah,
so
fun.
Number 90 is the original Grandia on PS1 and Sega Saturn. This is one of the original action art, like the Tales series.
That's actually a really fun game.
Yeah, the battle system would convert to a real-time thing where your button presses actually, you didn't have to wait for a meter to fill up.
Really frantic.
Exactly. It was good. I really liked it. Number 89, and this is what got me, is I didn't actually realize these were classified as RPGs initially. Yakuza 0.
Hey, that's
they're listed as action RPGs.
Yeah, yep, they have a level up system and everything.
Yeah, so good for Yakuza.
The Yakuza series is incredible if you don't mind watching 10-minute plus cutscenes of very, very melodramatic Japanese men talking about honor and ripping their shirts off.
Honor.
I love it. I love it.
We're always doing
so much honor.
No, never doing.
You can proceed.
Okay. Number 88 is Bravely Default.
Hey, the first one is great. Up until they have to do the whole game again.
Yeah. But man, that
moment
was so good. That battle system was so good.
It is.
Now, this next one I feel should be a lot higher, but I understand why it's not, because probably at this point, not enough people have played or remembered it to have voted for it. Mm-hmm. I know Josh will agree that this should be higher.
It better not be Earthbound.
Number 87 is Shadow Hearts Covenant.
Oh, yeah, that should be much higher. That game is I think it's a masterpiece.
Oh, it is. The problem is the company went under, and no one actually knows who owns the rights to it right now. So the odds of a remaster or a trilogy where they combine the first three, probably never going to happen.
Yeah, that game is fantastic. It's so beautifully entrenched in the occult, and blaming World War One on the occult. It's
very Hellboy-esque.
Yes, and the battle system is great as well.
Oh yeah.
And the game is just weird. So yeah.
Number 86, Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor. I remember the first one on the DS, and I was I felt I was so clever that I realized Devil Survivor was just DS. Do you remember when the DS came out, like every game's acronym spelled out DS, and people thought they were so freaking clever?
Nope. The one that sticks out to me is Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah, 3D. Yeah, because it was the 3DS one. Oh yeah.
Everything is awful.
Number 85 is Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together.
Jesus,
which is the PSP one.
Yeah.
But it was the PSP basically remake of the original Super Nintendo one. Man, that game was good. It was basically a more involved in tactical Final Fantasy Tactics. Like Final Fantasy Tactics made that genre of tactical RPG like massively popular, but Tactics Ogre was the first of it, and it actually did it better. It just it wasn't nearly as popular because
it did it very well, and characters died, and you couldn't get those characters back, and
right.
You had more repercussions.
Number 84, 100% is a top 20 RPG, and people are wrong. Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistrals for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that game is actually really good.
That game is one of the greatest. Oh my god.
I agree with you on that, Matt.
They had dungeons with puzzles that were very Zelda-esque.
Yeah.
They had a Pokemon system in place before Pokemon was a thing, where you had side monsters. That
you can interact with all the terrain in the world. The battle system was really nice.
Music was great. Fun story. First game that ever made me cry.
Oh.
The ending actually made me shed a tear. I was very sad at what happened. Number 83 is surprising only because it's literally the newest game on the list. Number 83 is Octopath Traveler.
That's very interesting.
I just don't think 3 weeks is long enough to place it in the best 101 games of all time.
That'll drop
So,
95.
while it is very good, I think this has a bit of a kind of Regency bias, where it's just the newest thing most people have played, so they have the fondest memory of it.
Yeah,
I agree with that because I have put my fair share of hours into it, and I don't know that I could adequately rate it yet. It kind of needs to have a moratorium on it until like a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
Like a Hall of Fame.
Like you need some time. It's a little too early.
Yes, way too early.
Number 82 is Tales of Vesperia. Widely known as one of the best of the Tales series. So good, it's actually getting a definitive edition remastering for Xbox One, PC, Switch, and PS4.
Yeah.
So, yay. Good for them.
Good game.
81 is Final Fantasy V. The one with butts.
Yeah, the one with the extensive job system.
Yes. Everyone loves Final Fantasy V for its job system. Nothing else, because their characters and story are really weak.
It's the one I don't have on Game Boy Advance, and I'm gotta find it.
You should. It's worth playing. It's just not as good as 6 or 4.
Yeah.
You have to invest.
And finally, number 80 for today is The Witcher 2: Assassins of Kings.
I don't know if it's because I played this on the 360, but I did not care for Witcher 2.
Well, it's certainly Witcher 3 definitely improved in every way.
Yes.
Yeah. Witcher
Matt,
2.
can we go to 75 to make this like 4 easy chunks?
Sure. Okay. Instead of 5?
Yeah.
All right. Number 79 is Tales of Symphonia.
I think you can swap.
My personal favorite of the Tales series, and I think it was because it was the GameCube one, and it allowed you to have 4-player battles where 4 of your friends all together would play this RPG together, and everyone controlled their own character during battle, and it made for it a lot more fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever played it, but it's one of the greatest couch co-op RPG experiences I've ever had.
That's a good game, too.
No,
it is.
Probably not.
Where are we? Oh, no. Where'd my list go?
78.
Oh, my God.
What
I
happened?
lost the list. Hold on.
Professional group of individuals.
What the shizzle? Hold on.
What did you do?
I don't know.
This episode is brought to you by Blue Apron.
I wish.
Blue Apron. Meals that come to you.
No. Don't talk about Blue Apron until they send a check.
All right. Found it again. That was weird.
All right.
Scrolling back down. We were on 79. And 78 is Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advance.
I wanted to play that game. I never had a chance.
I really like the Golden Sun games. The first one was very basic. And honestly, I'm still shocked none of the Golden Sun characters have made it into Smash Bros. Yet. It's a Nintendo-owned RPG series. They could put one character in there, Isaac, the hero, over the 17th Fire Emblem character. Like, let's be real. Come on, guys.
Matt, do you find the Golden for going forward? I need you to tell us if you think this game is appropriately placed, because I think you have done the most experience with these.
So
games.
far, I've played every single game on this list.
Okay. And do you think Golden Sun is appropriate?
I think Golden Sun is solid in its position. It's a good game, but the other two I enjoyed more, but it still deserves to be on the list.
Okay.
So I think number 77 is Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Jesus. That's like
the first of the 3DS ones. Yeah, because you got to remember, Atlas has the Shin Megami Tensei series, of which Persona was originally a spin-off of.
Yeah.
Shin Megami Tensei is the actual franchise. Persona just happens to be a spin-off of it.
Okay, so what about 4?
4, it's good. I ended up playing it all the way through. So much like Persona, it's got the same level of like angels and demons as the enemies. You can talk and have them join you. You combine and fuse them together into bigger, stronger people. So it's good stuff. Number 76 should be way higher. It's one of my favorite, most underrated RPGs, and that's called Radiant Historia. It uses time travel and alternate universes along with a tactical turn-based RPG system.
Why do I feel like I played that?
Where you realize you can start going back in time to try and fix things. And
what system was that on?
3DS. The original was DS. They just released a remake on 3DS.
I'm holding out hope for a Switch version.
It sounds like one of those. Remember when Square was making all those like Last Remnant and
well, it's made by Atlas.
Okay.
And I will tell you, this is one of the greatest RPGs. I bought it on a whim because I was working at GameStop and I was like, oh, this art looks really cool in Atlas. I like Atlas. I'll give it a shot. And I checked it out. And the next day I bought it. It was just that good. If you have a 3DS, buy it.
Where's he going? Okay, he's back.
Grabbing it. I got the 3DS remake. Radiant Historia.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And finally, number 75 is Horizon Zero Dawn.
I guess it is, isn't it?
An action RPG. Level up system, skill tree system.
How many Far Cry games are going to be on this list?
Hopefully none.
Hopefully 0.
Far Cry.
Even if they are, because I don't think they crack a top 100.
Yeah, so that's the first part of this list, and I think that's a good place to end for the night.
I'm liking this list. This is a pretty good list.
Right? And the best part is they still have the top 15 to go. They've only gone up to 16. They've been like staggering them out. So by the time we reach it, we'll be done.
10, then we need to burn the list.
Yep. And I think we should start working on our own list, an updated version for the 4 of us, because the last time the NOLAnerds did a top 100 list, it was how long ago was it, Chris?
It was like right when the podcast started.
Yeah, it was super.
There was that hurricane, and we were doing it at someone else's house.
That's right. It was Hurricane, not Katrina, Iris.
Yeah.
So, what type of 100 list should we do?
I think our top games of all time in general.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it the way that Reset Era does it, and we'll write a list, then we'll add up the numbers.
Yeah.
Kind of the way we did it with the Marvel one.
Exactly.
Should we do top 30?
Yeah, do top 30.
Yeah, everyone has a top 30. And then if any overlaps, if there's any spots left, we'll just keep adding until we hit 100.
Yep, and then We'll debut it after this list gets knocked out.
Agreed. All right, cool. Well, everyone, I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
I'm Josh.
I'm Doug.
And we will see you next week on the Nolan Nerdcast, episode 13.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later.
Laser.